Have you ever thought a heart attack would come from below the belt? That's exactly what happened to Leonard, a 70-year-old retired police officer from Michigan. He was rushed to the ER with chest pressure, shortness of breath, and cold sweats. The doctors braced for a cardiac emergency, but his heart was fine. The real culprit? Severely blocked blood vessels down there. No one had told Leonard that poor circulation in older men doesn't just affect the legs or heart. It silently damages intimacy, energy, confidence, even the ability to feel emotionally connected to the one you love. And sadly, he's not alone. I'm Dr. Henry Miles. After 32 years treating men over 60, I've discovered something simple, almost absurdly simple, that can reverse this damage when used correctly. It's not a new drug. It's not an expensive supplement. It's something sitting in your kitchen right now, baking soda. But not how you've used it before. In this video, I'll reveal the shocking science behind how it works, why it helps, and how to use it safely. And no, it's not just for baking cookies. Before we dive in, please subscribe to Life in Words for more real-life, age-defying health tips. And if you're watching this thinking, "This sounds like me," type 1 in the comments. If you're skeptical, type 0, "I want to hear both sides," because what we're about to explore could change how you feel, in every way that matters. 1. The silent saboteur. Poor circulation. After 60, it doesn't begin with a dramatic fall or a hospital scare. It starts with something quiet, so subtle you might dismiss it as nothing. Cold fingertips in the middle of July. Feeling out of breath after just a short flight of stairs. Less interest in intimacy, not because you don't care, but because your body doesn't seem to respond the way it used to. That's exactly what happened to Martin, a 66-year-old retired architect from Oregon. He didn't come to me for heart problems or even relationship struggles. He simply said, "Doc, I'm not myself anymore." He was sleeping more. He stopped going on morning walks with his wife. And though he didn't say it outright, I could sense something deeper, something he didn't want to admit. When we dug a little deeper, Martin finally opened up. Intimacy had become uncomfortable, not physically but emotionally. He felt disconnected, frustrated, and unsure of his worth as a partner. "I still love her," he said quietly, "but I just feel gone." This is far more common than most people think. After 60, blood vessels naturally become stiffer. The lining that helps vessels relax, called the endothelium, starts to break down. Without it, nitric oxide production drops and your circulation slows. The smaller vessels, those that bring warmth, sensitivity, and responsiveness, start shutting down like old plumbing. And here's the danger. Most men call it just aging, but it's not. It's poor circulation. And it's robbing you of connection, energy, and confidence. The good news? It's reversible. With the right support, blood vessels can regain flexibility. That's why what I'm about to show you, starting with something as simple as baking soda, might be the unexpected key to turning things around. If this is resonating with you, type yes in the comments. Let's see how many of us are silently going through the same thing. 2. When the lights go dim, the hidden damage of poor blood flow. Imagine your body as a house. When blood circulation weakens, it's like the electricity slowly flickering out, room by room. First, your energy fades. Then your sleep becomes restless. Eventually, even the most intimate parts of your life grow dark. You feel less alive, less connected, even when the person you love is lying right beside you. This was exactly what happened to Stanley, 72, a retired firefighter from Georgia. always strong, always dependable. The kind of man who shoveled his neighbors' driveways without being asked. But when he came into my office, his shoulders sagged, and his voice was barely above a whisper. "Dr. Miles," he said, "I don't feel like a man anymore." His tests were all within range. His heart was steady. His cholesterol wasn't alarming. And yet, he felt distant from himself, from his wife, from life. What was going wrong? The answer was hidden beneath the surface, in his endothelial function. That's the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, the very system responsible for producing nitric oxide, a molecule critical to helping your arteries expand and blood to flow freely. When that system breaks down, blood can't reach the places that need it most: your brain, your hands and feet, and yes, your intimate organs. And here's where it gets scary. These small vessels are the first to shut down. A little fatigue, a less responsive moment in the bedroom, a cold hand. Most brush it off. But it's often the first warning sign of a much bigger issue: early vascular disease, even stroke risk. Yet for all the fear this brings, there's hope. Because your body isn't broken. It's waiting for the signal to start repairing. And believe it or not, that signal may come from something as ordinary as a glass of water and a tiny pinch of baking soda. If you've ever felt like Stanley, leave number 2 in the comments. You're not alone, and there's a way forward. 3. The forgotten fix: how baking soda helps where it hurts most. Let's talk about something that's probably in your kitchen right now: baking soda. Not exactly what you'd expect to be at the heart of a conversation about circulation, intimacy, or vitality. But for many of my older patients, this simple white powder has been the unexpected spark that reignited their energy and confidence. Take Gregory, 67, a soft-spoken retired librarian from Vermont. He had tried everything: ginseng, beetroot pills, even those late-night infomercial devices he'd never admit to his friends. "It all feels like smoke and mirrors," he told me, "and I'm tired of chasing shadows." So I asked him a question that caught him off guard. "Do you have baking soda at home?" He blinked. "You mean for cleaning the fridge?" Exactly. You see, baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, isn't just a household cleaner or baking ingredient. Inside the body, when used correctly, it becomes a powerful pH buffer. As we age, our internal environment tends to become more acidic. Poor diet, stress, and declining kidney function can all contribute to this. And that acidity, it tightens blood vessels, decreases oxygen delivery, and worsens circulation. Just a small amount of baking soda, mixed with water at the right time, helps neutralize excess acid, gently balancing your body's pH. That opens the door for blood to move more freely, oxygen to reach your tissues, and warmth and responsiveness to return, especially to the areas that have felt quiet for too long. Gregory started with just a quarter teaspoon each morning. Within 2 weeks, he felt less stiff. His morning energy improved. And one day, with a shy grin, he said, "I didn't expect to feel this good again." Now, let me be clear. This is not a miracle cure. It doesn't replace healthy habits or proper medical care. But when used wisely, it can be a meaningful step forward. If this idea surprises you, type baking in the comments. Let's see how many of us have overlooked something so simple. 4. When natural becomes risky, the danger of doing it wrong. Now, before you reach for that box of baking soda, let me be crystal clear. Natural doesn't always mean harmless. Used the right way, it can gently support your health. Used the wrong way, especially at our age, it can do serious damage. Let me tell you about Ernest, a 70-year-old former truck driver from Texas. Full of determination and a bit of stubborn pride, he found an article online about baking soda improving circulation. He didn't call his doctor. He didn't ask questions. He just started taking a teaspoon in the morning and another at night, thinking, if a little helps, more must help faster. Within days, Ernest felt bloated and dizzy. By the end of the week, his blood pressure had shot up, and he was rushed to the ER with confusion and a dangerously irregular heartbeat. The problem? His kidneys, already under stress from age, couldn't process the excess sodium load from the baking soda. What was supposed to help him feel better nearly sent him into heart failure. You see, baking soda isn't a vitamin. It directly alters your body's internal chemistry, your pH, sodium levels, and hydration balance. These are finely tuned systems, especially for older adults. If you're on medication for blood pressure, kidneys, or heart issues, adding large amounts of baking soda can tip the scale into dangerous territory. Even something as innocent as drinking it before bed can lead to disrupted sleep, fluid retention, or worse. This isn't about fear. It's about respecting your body. You wouldn't pour mystery oil into a classic car without checking the manual, right? Your body deserves the same care. If this surprises you, or if you've ever experimented with home remedies, type SAFE in the comments. Let's open up the conversation about doing things the smart way, not the risky way. Coming up next, I'll walk you step by step through the exact method I recommend to my patients, so you can support your circulation without compromising your safety. 5. How to use baking soda safely. Small dose, big impact. So, how do you actually use baking soda in a way that's safe and effective, especially after 60? The answer is simple. Start small, stay consistent, and respect your body's limits. For most healthy older adults, I recommend starting with just 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda stirred into a full glass of room temperature water. Drink it once a day, on an empty stomach, preferably first thing in the morning. That's it. Not after a meal, not before bed, and definitely not more than once a day. Why so little? Because when it comes to circulation and pH balance, less is more. Your body doesn't need a tidal wave of change. It needs a gentle nudge in the right direction. I remember a patient named Lewis, 74, a retired carpenter from Minnesota. He used to struggle with freezing hands, afternoon fatigue, and a vague sense that his spark was gone. We introduced that small morning habit, 1/4 teaspoon, empty stomach, full glass of water. Within 3 weeks, he came back with a smile. "Doc," he said, "I don't know how to explain it, but I feel steadier. I'm not crashing in the afternoons anymore." But here's the kicker. Hydration matters. Baking soda works best when your body is well hydrated. That means drinking water consistently throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Better hydration improves blood flow, oxygen delivery, and even cognitive sharpness. And if you're on medications, especially for blood pressure, heart, or kidneys, consult your doctor first. Not because baking soda is dangerous by default, but because your body has earned careful attention after decades of hard work. If you're thinking about trying this, type START in the comments. But remember, starting small is the key to doing it right. Next, I'll share one final story. A man who used this method faithfully, and how one extra habit took his results to an entirely new level. Conclusion: you're not done yet. A new chapter can begin. There's one man I still think about often. Harvey, 76 years old, a retired jazz musician from New Orleans. He came to see me not out of desperation, but quiet curiosity. "I'm not trying to turn back time, Doc," he said. I just want to feel like me again. We started him on the same routine, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda in water every morning, with plenty of hydration. But what made the biggest difference wasn't just the habit. It was his consistency. He didn't look for overnight miracles. He showed up for himself, 1 glass at a time. 3 months later, Harvey sat in my office and said something I'll never forget. "I didn't think I'd ever feel this kind of closeness again, but I do." You see, this video hasn't been about baking soda alone. It's been about what happens when you start listening to your body instead of ignoring it. About how something as simple as circulation can steal your energy, your confidence, and your connection, but also how it can be restored little by little. If you've been feeling tired, disconnected, or like the best parts of you are slipping away, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not broken. You're not too late. And you're certainly not done. A new chapter doesn't start with a giant leap. It starts with a glass of water, a small decision, a quiet shift toward healing. If this message touched you, please hit the like button, subscribe to Life in Words, and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you're still watching, let me know in the comments. What's one small habit you're ready to start today? Because yes, there's still more life left to feel.